They put more emphasis on the process than they did on the people, when to God it was always about the people. You know, taking a Sabbath day rest was never about God. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy was about you, because God knew you needed rest. He said don't commit adultery and don't commit murder and don't do all of these other things, because he knew. Don't covet. Don't live your life wishing that you had everybody else's stuff. He didn't do that for him. Those rules weren't about God and pleasing God. They were about you being okay. Because God knew that if you didn't take time for rest, and if you didn't do the things that you needed to do, and if you didn't operate in love, and you didn't love your family, and you didn't do those things properly and in balance, that your life would end up in chaos, that the cost would be too great. So he instituted a handful of rules. But the rules were never about the rules. People make everything about the rules, but to God it was more about the why, not the what. How many of you have ever been in a church where it was all about the rules? You do this and you don't do that, and if you wear a dress that's that long and pants that are that long, and if you don't, then you're sinning. And women can't wear a shirt with that's sleeveless. I'm going to tell you something. If an armpit turns you on, your issues go much deeper than a sleeve. That wasn't in my notes. That was free, and I probably should have kept it to myself. The rules were never about the rejection that we made it about. Religion made it about, if you don't do this, then God's not going to be happy with you. But it was never about God being happy with you. The rules were about you being happy with you and your life being blessed. God set a standard for blessing to take place in your life because he recognized that sin had its own consequences. The rules were never about rejection from him. They were about protection for you. For we know what God's desires are and is what his will is for our lives, because the word gives us clear instruction. Isaiah, it says that woe to the man who calls good evil and evil good. And yet we live in a generation right now where that is the norm, and people get angry with you if you actually agree with the Bible as it pertains to the lifestyle choices that they're living in. And what they're failing to recognize is all they're seeing is the rule. And it's not just them, it's us. So many times we're the same way. We process through the lens of the rule and not the why behind why it was established.